The card, everybody just like, show me the card. You know what? I forgot to read the card out.
Around, but I think they're scared to give it to Ysmir because
you're going to pay a lot of mana for it. You're going to pay 4. You're not going to get a lot of stats for it. He's probably going to be an auto-include in every Bravos deck and every hero for probably eternity. I think what's going to be really interesting is actually the uniques that come out of this.
Yeah, we mentioned that a little bit beforehand. It's going to be crazy.
We have the common version in a rare slot. Yeah, I don't know about that. What do you guys think it is? Think about it for a second.
We are introducing our card reveal of
All right, we're live. Graham?
Hey, Yawn, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Welcome everyone to our set 4 Skybound Odyssey card reveal. If you don't know me, or if you don't remember me, I don't blame you. My name's Yawn. Obviously, I'm an altered player. Try to be a competitive player, mostly on BGA Arena. Otherwise, you can find me in the official Discord. I frequent the Bravos channel, as well as the Ysmir channel a little bit. So hit me up there.
Yeah, and my name is Graham, or you can see me as Thadeaus on BGA if you've ever played against me. Cracked top 200 a little bit ago, which is great.
There you go.
Yeah. And then, otherwise we're playing here at the local shop, Top Shelf, which is great. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, cool. So we're obviously really excited for another card reveal here at Top Shelf. We did have 2 card reveals for the previous set, Trial by Frost and Whispers from the Maze. And you know, I think it'd be fun to do a quick little recap of kind of what we saw there.
Yeah.
So I know you guys want to see the card. Everybody just like, show me the card. Let's test the patience a little bit. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
Quick review. So Trial by Frost, we had Fire Rabbit. There he is.
Fire Rabbit's my favorite art of like any card. I got it foiled just because I love it so much. It's easily my favorite.
I don't disagree. Obviously, I'm a little biased because did reveal the card.
Yeah.
But the flavor text is just all-time goated, and all the flavor text across all TCGs. Hot Bunny in your area wants to meet. Need I say more? So, and you know what? Beyond the art, he's probably one of the most played cards in all of Bravos, all the heroes. Let's put some facts to that. This is the usage chart for this season, and you can see in the common, Fire Rabbit is coming in at number 2, just behind Haven Serengar. He's probably going to be an auto-include in every Bravos deck and every hero for probably eternity. So hard to beat that, but Fire Rabbit, he's holding his weight up there.
Yeah, it's so good. And these stats come from AlterDB, the 39 stats page, which I think is pulled from 39 cards. Great place to go if you ever need stats.
Super awesome resource, even just for deck building, just to kind of see like what people are using. Yeah, this is just a really great indicator for that. All right, so then for Whispers from the Maze, we had Pastry Chef. Kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, not a really high usage rate at all. I think this barely gets played, to be honest. And you know what, like, I was pretty disappointed to see card draw coming to Bravos. But then it's a card that's like not really playable.
It's amazing how much that Haven Serengar is played and this is not played at all. It's just that mana cost is a bit hard. It's a bit tough to fit in.
Yeah. And you got to get it to 2 boosts, which with all the sabotage and everything like that, by the time you get the setup, it's just like the payoff may not even be there. You might not ever get it. So
for sure.
That was that. And now we're coming into Skybound Odyssey, and we do have a really interesting one. But I want to do one more thing to lead us into the reveal. And you guys will see where this is heading. First set, Beyond the Gates. Gave us obviously a lot of good cards, but there's one card in particular there that is a true staple, and I also think will also be a true staple in Bravos, in every deck, in every hero, and that is
Tiny Jin.
Tiny Jin, that's right. Specifically, whoops, skipped ahead there. Specifically, the rare. So yeah, the usage for this card, again, it's practically in every single deck, and then Mighty Djinn as well. So just going to the usage there. Sorry, that's the rare. So Tiny Djinn is in that first spot there, and Mighty Djinn. So you can see the drop off.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
It's a crazy drop off, but overall, it's still the third highest usage card in Mighty Djinn rare. So like these two cards, you're getting that ramp.
And if from the Mighty Djinn, you get the draw, which is used so much in all the different Bravos decks.
The draw's great,
yeah. Tiny Djinn comes at it's so cheap too for such like a powerful three and mountain out of reserve is really nice. Great card.
Yeah. So those two cards, those are staples. Tiny Djinn, his big brother, Mighty Djinn, and we didn't really see much in terms of the Djinn family until the third set. We skipped Trial by Frost. We didn't get anything there. But then in Whispers from the Maze, we got Swift Djinn. And I would say the biggest benefactor was Etsadi, whereas, the other two Djinns are kind of played across all factions. Maybe not as much in Etsadi for Mighty Djinn, but could be a card you play. This card, strictly for the most part, in Etsadi, and he was the one that benefited the most from set 3, and that's a hero that you
I played a lot. I play a lot of Etsadi over the last little bit when we were getting ready for the World qualifiers in Canada. The Scout mechanic, especially on Swift Djinn and the rest of the cards coming out in Whispers, was huge. Great new mechanic, 11 new mechanics, makes it a lot of fun. And Swift Djinn was a great addition to the Djinn family there, I think, especially for it. Like it made Etsadi way more playable.
Yeah. And even just being played in Etsadi, Swift Djinn is still making that top usage chart for the rares, right? Which is kind of crazy. That just shows how much popularity and how much usage Etsadi as a hero has gained, right? So the whole Djinn family has representation here on the usage chart. And what do you say, man? Should we add to the Djinn family?
We definitely should. I love those Djinns. They're great,
Yeah, so why don't you do the honors?
We are introducing our card reveal of Smoldering Djinn.
There he is.
Very cool card. I'm so excited that we got to release the Djinn. As I said, I've been playing Etsadi nonstop, so I've been seeing the word Djinn all the time, and now I'm just excited to see it more. Beautiful art, really pretty. It's great,
Yeah, and he's probably looking like the toughest out of all the Djinns, right?
That's true,
He's ready for battle here. Although, first impressions, honestly, looking a little bit understated. So kind of my perspective, the way I look at a card is like, first thing that to me that always stands out is what's the ratio of stats to mana? Typically you're looking to get, 1/1/1 per every 1 mana, right? So this card, I think the most comparable one is Bravos Pathfinder, which is an 0/3/3 for 2. So in that sense, right, he's kind of understated by a point there. And, kind of thinking it through, I can kind of see, why he had to be a little bit worse, because obviously you're going to get that benefit a little later on.
I think it's really good with the, a lot of the 2/2/2s that Gulrang puts out and that Kojo with their Buddha. Getting that 3 in 1 stat for 2 mana is really nice, just to bump you over in those initial, lets you win win a side on day 1 against those difficult matchups.
Yeah. With a 0 stat there though, I do wish it was 3/3/0, just like the Pathfinder in 0/3/3. And again, I can kind of see why they did that. But I feel like it wouldn't have necessarily cannibalized that Pathfinder spot, because its 0 is placed differently, right? So it is, a whole different card just from a stat perspective. And then obviously, you know what? I forgot to read the card out.
We should go through it.
2 mana out of hand, 4 mana out of reserve, 2/3/0. Really, the effect that we're most interested here is actually the text on the card. You play it out of reserve and put the top card of your deck in your mana zone. That's obviously what we're looking for from the Djinn family.
Exactly.
Right? That's what we want. We want the ramp. But you're going to pay a lot of mana for it. You're going to pay 4. You're not going to get a lot of stats for it for the 4.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels a little bit tough to play this out of reserve for 4 mana.
Yeah, I think what I was thinking about it was I always break it down to the base cards that we can look at and look at that mana cost. So mana channeling is a card played in at Saudi, but they just need all the ramp, right? So it's a little bit imbalanced. That's a 2 mana card. All it doesn't give you a body, it doesn't give you anything, it just gives you the ramp. So it's a nice like look at for what Equinox thinks that base cost is for a mana, which is about 2, right?
It's 2, okay.
Yeah, and so I think that means that this common kind of fits in with that theme of this is going to be 2 mana out of like a body for 2 mana that's, okay statted, but then you're also getting that effect. You don't need that extra mana channeling maybe. Like maybe this is a card you can play instead of that in that Saudi deck, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so you're essentially paying 2 mana for the stats, which you get up front, and then on the back end you're paying, again, 2 mana for the stats and 2 mana for the ramp, which, I don't know, again, seems like a little bit much.
Yeah.
But we'll see. One place where my mind goes is actually the Foundry mechanic, right? This was a quite popular mechanic in set 1. I actually played it quite a bit.
That was my first deck too. Playing this on BGA was so much fun.
Yeah, Foundry was so much fun. Although, after set 1, we got some more tools in Whispers, and it kind of dropped off, right? Didn't see as much play. We got just, a wider variety of tools. So
lots of permanent removal too in the game right now. Makes this hard to play.
Yeah, permanent removal, and like you need a lot of cards that have reserve effects that are good to kind of play into this. And when that doesn't really balance out, then it just doesn't make sense to play in this mechanic where you can play other mechanics, right? So, but I think if we can get more of these good reserve abilities in the set or in future sets, I could see Foundry coming back, and I'm already starting to get some ideas. I think I'm going to play around with it.
Yeah, for sure.
But so let's move on to the rare.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's read the card this time.
Yeah.
Now, instead of 4 mana out of reserve, it's 3 mana out of reserve. So already that feels a lot better. Yeah. Right. And the effect changes a little bit. So now you may rush to put the top card of your deck in your mana zone, exhausted, obviously. It just feels a lot better. It seems like, there's obviously new heroes coming out in the set, and they want to put support to those heroes while also, playing into the faction as a whole. But it does seem like this is really playing into the hero soul, which you want to, kind of front load your turn, front load your mana, do as much as you can so that you can have kind of enough on the board and have done enough to be the first player to pass and start to get the benefits from soul. So that's kind of my first thoughts, although I can see it, now kind of becoming a more playable card at 3 mana in the other factions. What are your thoughts?
I think that the rare does make this a lot better. And I think it's also interesting, again, going back to that, how much mana is Equinox putting towards these different effects. And again, we can take that very clear indication of mana channeling and show us that rush, basically to fast forward your turn, is 1 mana to them, right? I think that's what they've kind of shown with this card, which is really interesting. And so I'm excited to see what the other rush effects kind of do and if they fit that theme. And I think that makes sense. Like getting 1 extra mana for your turn can be really huge. So I think that using that rush to forward your turn and also get this effect can be really good. So I think it works out really well, and it's really, really interesting. And also whenever you have this May rush, I think almost everyone's exactly. You can just play it as a body, and then you can wait on your other person's turn if it's a really, really important, like you're waiting for something else to go out.
But if you don't rush, you're not getting the ramp.
Yes, exactly. So maybe a late game card where you're trying to tease out things, like you're trying to get your hunger play and you want to wait it out. But you don't end up getting that rush effect. You don't get that ramp, so you just have to balance it.
Yeah, and obviously it looks a lot better in the rare, but that's the problem in itself is that rare slot is always so competitive.
It's crazy, yeah.
Especially in Bravos, I find, but yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Anything in a rare slot, it
needs to be better than like Tiny Djinn and Mighty Djinn, right? Because if you're, it doesn't need to be better than Tiny Djinn because that's just amazing, but you're fighting over those rare slots, and do you need more ramp, right? That's kind of the question here, I think, for this card is, does Saudi want more ramp? Maybe Kojo and Basira, they might not need it. I think Soul will be really interesting to see how that goes forward, if they want those extra little bits. But it's just balancing how much ramp versus stats you need later in the game.
Yeah, I think for sure it's a playable card in Soul, and you probably want to play this in Soul because you're going to want that rush mechanic, and if you can get a ramp out of it as well to kind of make your later game a lot more powerful as you're more so setting up and maybe losing more expeditions than you're used to in the early game, and maybe not as of a natural fit in some of the other heroes, which is fine, right? But yeah, I think it's a good way to compare. Like, it's definitely not better than Tiny Djinn.
Well, yeah. That was maybe a bad comparison, but maybe like Auklet or like another, like Auklet's also very strong, or trying to think of other rares we play inside of.
Well, what do you think about it compared to Big Brother Mighty Djinn, right?
Yeah, that is a good comparison. Because in Saudi, actually, you see a lot of people play just the common Mighty Djinn rather than the rare, because you just want mana as fast as you can go. And I think that this ends up being that cheaper mana for earlier, and I think it might actually be better in Saudi as a common or rare than Mighty Djinn, just because you're really just looking for mana.
True.
In those first few turns. All you want is to get past like turn 5 or 6 mana to get those really big cards.
You probably do the common at that point then.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So then the rare is like, it might not actually fit into those archetypes. It'd be interesting.
But then now you're comparing a 4 mana 2/3/0 versus a Mighty Djinn at 4 mana 4/4/0, right? So you can see the severe kind of understating there.
Yeah, and you're already playing those Djinns, you're playing those, mountains and forest stats. Water is just, you need to play a lot of water cards inside of Bravos to make up for those stats with Snowman or Pathfinder, etc.
That's another good point, is Bravos struggles a little bit in that water slot.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, this card here, you already have the drawback of being kind of understated and paying all this mana, and also losing out kind of in that water. So we'll have to see, but it's an interesting card nevertheless. Love to see kind of that new mechanic being more prominent, and looking forward to see more rush cards. Before we move on to the out of faction, and we talked about this, or we kind of mentioned this, I do want to get your thoughts on it. I think what's going to be really interesting is actually the uniques that come out of this. Yeah,
we mentioned that a little bit beforehand. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, because that opens up a lot of possibilities, and that could open up, I assume it will, but an arrow ability where you can double ramp, because those cards are few and far between. They're tough to come by. They're expensive, and this will just make ramping more accessible on a unique.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm really excited for that, and kind of seeing what the different possibilities are there.
And I find that with uniques too, a lot of the times you don't want to replace your really good rares with uniques, even though it lets you have that extra rare slot. Because usually the rares in Bravos are so good, you want to play them. So playing the unique, like Auklet has a really good draw unique, I think, where you can boost it to, Drawklet, where you boost it and then you get the draw, and you can just get, you can draw 8 cards. It's crazy.
But it feels bad replacing the rare.
Exactly, right? So you'd rather have that effect on a different card. And so that's where I think this is very powerful. Now Bravos can get rid of those 6 or 7 mana double ramp cards, and maybe just play this at a much cheaper thing if the unique is very good. So very cool.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. All right, well, let's go on to the out of faction rare. What do you guys think it is? Think about it for a second. Oh, that's not it.
There we go.
Axiom. So Axiom is getting essentially the common version.
Yeah.
And they did also get the Swift Gen, which you
Yeah.
don't really think about because I don't think it gets played.
I don't think it gets played at all
in Axiom. It'd have to be like, I don't know, like a high curve Sierra maybe or something like that.
And I suspect they gave it to them because of that discard from reserve mechanic, and usually they have a few things in reserve that they can get rid of, especially on traced where you're just cycling things through.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't naturally look like it goes into Axiom, right? Like Axiom is usually more kind of mechanical and
yeah.
I don't know, Elemental doesn't really make me think of Axiom, but
yeah,
hey, Axiom.
They're using those elementals, they're powering their machines, they're stealing from the earth, that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's that kind of earthy connection that Axiom does have.
Yeah.
But there you go, Axiom players and enjoyers, you're getting access to some ramp.
I really thought this was going to be Izmir, like an Izmir one, because we've got ramp in Muna, like from the Tiny Jin out of faction rare. We've got the Mighty Jin went to Lyra, then Swift Jin went to Axiom already. So I thought this was going to start like swinging around, but I think they're scared to give it to Izmir because they're big spells, right? It would be just crazy.
Yeah, we need some ramp in Izmir. I would love that, please. If I were to guess, I would have thought it would have been Muna.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I think that would make a bit more sense. They need a little bit of support right now. I'd love to see a little bit more support from Muna.
Yeah.
Kohlrabi on the Discord is always like yelling for Muna buffs, and he'd be happy to see that.
Yeah, shout out Cole. Especially since Muna does have a lot of those mechanics you want cards in reserve through Arjun and through Rin as well, right? Like they do have that reserve interaction. So I feel like it could have went that direction, and I'd be interested to kind of learn what goes into that decision making. Like, is it simply, kind of making a call on giving each faction enough cards and stuff like that? Maybe it, was in Muna, but they had to kind of shift some cards around. I'm interested about that, but so we have the common version in a rare slot. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough to play. I don't think we're going to see too much play from Axiom. But again, we do have their Bastion, right? So maybe we see that come into play somewhere. Maybe they bring it back. Maybe we see some interesting things there. We were just talking about it in Bravo, so who knows? And also you do have that traced putting things in reserve. You've a lot of into reserve mechanics from Axiom in general. And so you can just put this in reserve, play it out, get some ramp. I'd love to see what else is cooking for Axiom this set.
For sure.
Because I think if there's some, bigger, higher mana cost cards, or, they want to play a little bit faster, maybe they have some rush.
Yeah.
I think then that could be really interesting in Axiom. But as it stands, without seeing too much else, I don't know if it's going to be played too much, which is too bad.
Yes, but again, for me, my mind just goes to the uniques, right? You could never see this card played in Axiom. But the uniques, I have a feeling they will be. You'll be seeing far more uniques than the rares played in Axiom. And you know what? Sometimes I think that's okay, right? Like, you need to introduce the card in a faction. It doesn't necessarily need to see play in that slot, but it just opens up a lot of cool possibilities. So.
I'm gonna be so disappointed if I open an Axiom one. We both play a lot of Bravo, so.
Yes.
If I open up an Axiom one that has a really good effect, I'm like, no, I guess I gotta play Axiom now instead of Bravos. But
Axiom is fun. Axiom is fun.
It is.
I feel like, it needs a little bit of support for the other heroes. Would like to see them played a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what we got. We got the Axiom rare. We got the Bravos rare, and we got the Bravos common. So, love to see some Bravos ramp. Let's see what comes out of it. Looking forward to the uniques. Thanks to Equinox and Loki for giving us another card reveal. Super fun. Love to do it.
We got to keep going on that Bravos roll. We got to get all the Bravos cards going forward. Give us more Jins.
That's right. We're full in on Bravos. So. Let us know what you guys think, and whether these cards are going to see play and where they're going to fit in on that usage chart, right? Is it going to be able to slot in with the Jin family? I have my doubts. I have my doubts, but I guess we'll see.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. We'll see you at the next one. Take care.